Hey guys, so Facebook is doing this whole timeline thing of a year in review, and I looked at mine and just really couldn't wrap up what my year has actually been like, and I really wanted to share what I've gone through this year, my struggles with you, and maybe you can take something away from it. I also wanted to share some main points, just three of them, that I've learned through this past year. So I guess I'll just start with how last year started. So in January, I moved to Minnesota. I went there to play basketball at Hamline University. I studied marketing and management. But while I was there, I fell first into my eating disorder, which I've had for 3 years. That's all I focused on. That's what my life consisted of, what I was wrapped up in. I couldn't focus on school. I had a really hard time with that. I wasn't focusing on basketball because all I cared about was my eating disorder. Everything that eating disordered voice had to tell me. While I was in Minnesota, I found out that my friend Joey had cancer, my cousin Heather had cancer, and her mother, Lynn, also had cancer. So not only did I have my eating disorder right in my face, but I also had these other outside emotional things going on. On April 7th, I decided that I was going to tell my mom I have an eating disorder. I did. I admitted it to her. And that's when I decided that, I kind of want to do something about it. It's running my life right now. I was isolated. I didn't go out because my eating disorder told me not to. So yeah, that was just really rough. After I told her about it, she flew me home for Easter break. I went to the doctor and found out that I had bradycardia, which is an abnormally slow heart rate. And it's really common in people with eating disorders. So not only did I have that, I was severely underweight and malnourished. I was constantly working out, constantly fixating on food. It's a disorder that I would never wish upon my greatest enemy because it really just attacks your mind, it takes over how you think. Anything really that you have going on in life, your eating disorder is going to try to control that. So I ended up making it through that semester at school. After I was done with that, I came home. I ended up checking myself into an eating disorder treatment center in Spokane called the Emily program. I had my first intake there on June 11th and was recommended that I do partial hospitalization, which is 7.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. I decided I was going to do that. I started programming June 30th, and this was the same day that my cousin Heather passed away. 70 days later, her mom, Lynn, my aunt, also passed away. And I continued in partial hospitalization until early October. Because of this, I wasn't able to go to school this fall. When I was done with partial hospitalization, I dropped down to intensive outpatient, which depending on the day was between 3.5 to 4.5 hours, 4 days a week. I continued doing that until I felt like I was ready to discharge from programming, and I made that decision on October 27th. Around this time, I also moved to Spokane. I got my own apartment, got 2 jobs. I started working again as a seasonal stalker at World Market. Just had my last day today, actually. And I also became a hostess at Anthony's. So I was picking up a couple jobs, decided I was going to discharge from programming, ended up having my final day on November 6th. I was also asked if I would speak at a recovery night, which was held on December 1st, and I did that. And after I gave my recovery talk, it was one of the most vulnerable things I've ever done in my entire life. It was the most eye-opening to me. Not only did I hope that it helped the other people that I shared it with, but it helped me in general too. I actually have the video on YouTube here, so I'll put the link down below if you want to go take an hour of your day, go watch that. I feel like it could help anyone who might not have an eating disorder, who might have an eating disorder, know someone who does. Anyone who's struggling, I feel like there's some information in there that might be able to help you out. After I did my recovery talk, started working full-time. I've been working between 60 and 68 hours a week. Just trying to live life. I'm doing a lot better with my eating disorder. And I guess there's just some things over this past year. It sounds like I had a bad year, but it was really just a learning year, honestly. I learned about myself, about life, how I want to live, the person I want to be. And some good things did happen. This last spring, I attended my first NBA game. I went to a Cher and Cyndi Lauper concert in Seattle with my mom and my sister. Went to Watershed again. My number 2 thing on my bucket list came true. My mom and I got Ellen DeGeneres tickets for February. Hopefully while we're there, my number 1 thing will come true, and that's actually meeting Ellen. So we'll see. But yeah, so it hasn't all been bad. That's pretty much will sum that up. But I have had my fair share of struggles this past year, and it's struggles that I've had throughout my whole life. I've just finally decided to confront them. So 3 things that I think were the biggest things that I've learned is just to take in the little things, the little moments in life, those things that you don't think matter. You know, a sunrise in the morning, a child's smile, someone opening the door for you. We tend to take those things for granted. We don't even notice them. They're just part of our daily lives. But really, those things, if you're able to be in the moment, be with that sunrise, be with that sunset, you're being present. You're present with yourself. You're present with the world around you. And the more you can be present with that, the more you can be connected with the world and yourself and just those little things, I guess. When my cousin Heather passed away, my mom told me that, you know, Heather did not have the choice, and I do, to get better. And that just it really made me think, and looking back on that now, it makes me think like, we have the choice every day when we wake up in the morning to have a good day. It's our decision if we want to go out and have a good day. If you wake up thinking, I'm going to have a bad day, you probably are. But you can make your day good by just doing small things. Giving a stranger, buying them a drink, I guess. Buying the person behind you their drink. You're making their day. And I know when I do that sort of thing, it helps me, it makes my day better. So yeah, I guess that was the first thing, is just taking in those little moments, not forgetting the little things. Tell the people you love them when you love them. Just stuff like that. The second thing that I've really just connected with is that what you look like does not define who you are. That's basically the root of where my eating disorder came from. I thought I had to be this perfect person. I had to look a certain way. I had to be a certain way. There was a certain image that I had to fit to be able to be accepted, to fit in. But the more I thought that, the harder I tried to get there. And I was never enough. I couldn't get there. Perfection does not exist. Imperfection is beauty. And I don't know who said that, but I think that's such a good way to put it, because if you're able to accept your flaws, be imperfect in your own way, that's beautiful to me. If you have a good heart, if you're a genuine person, that's what makes you beautiful. It's not what you look like on the outside. And I think that's something our society has so confused in their head, because we all think you have to look a certain way. You have to be a certain standard in our society to be welcome, to be good enough, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And what I want to tell you is that as long as you feel like you're good enough, as long as you're able to accept who you are, then you will be enough. If you can be true to yourself, that's my third thing I want to get to, is being true to yourself. If you can be true to yourself, accept your flaws, accept your values, that's a beautiful thing. Because when you wake up in the morning, if you can look at yourself, be happy with who you are, content with the life you have, that's what's going to make your life really worthwhile. Honestly, if you spend your time wishing you had something else, wishing you were this person, wishing you looked a certain way, you're dwelling on all those negative things that really don't matter. You might think that people have judgments about you, and yeah, sure, they might, but that's their issue, that's not yours. Your issue would be interacting with those judgments. They don't think I have good hair, so I'm going to change my hair. If you like your hair the way it is, keep it the way it is. Do what makes you happy. And that's kind of what I just want to sum this up with, is do the things you want to do that are going to make you happy. Be the person you want to be. If you see something in someone else that they do that you really like, you start doing that too. You can do that. that's how I've become the person I am today. I had to pick out things in other people that I really liked. I liked how this person was confident, so I wanted to become confident. So I started taking those steps to get there. I basically, this past year, I wouldn't say I've recreated myself, but I became the person that I am and that I really want to be. I I fully believe that everything happens to us for a reason. I believe I had this eating disorder for a reason. I'm recovering for a reason. I'm doing this video for a reason. I mean, I've never done a YouTube video before like this, but I just want my message to get out there that no matter what other people say, no matter what people might think you are, what you're not, whatever you think of yourself, that is who you are. That's what you're gonna be. If you think, I'm bad at art, for instance, yeah, you might be bad at art, but that doesn't mean you can't get better. With every struggle, there's a challenge. And when you decide you want to face that challenge, you can overcome it. Like, your struggles aren't weaknesses. That's so important. People see vulnerability as a weakness in themselves. Opening up, like me right now, opening up, telling you all, yeah, I had an eating disorder, I'm recovering. I used to think that that was so weak of me to accept, or to, I guess, put my, what I would say would be bad qualities, my flaws, my struggles, to put that out there. I would have thought that that was weak of myself, that I wasn't strong. But honestly, I've just learned that being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, sharing your flaws with anyone else makes them feel that it's okay, they can do that as well. And I really hope that you all took the time to watch this video and maybe got something out of it. If you're struggling with something right now, whether that be an eating disorder, looking for a job, school, friendships, anything like that, I'm going to tell you right now that it will get better. You just have to start taking the steps and making the changes to do that. And I know that you can. If you ever need anything, please feel free to message me. Comment below on this video. Let me know if you want to hear anything else that I have to say, because I fully believe that each and every one of you watching this are here for a reason. You're beautiful in your own way, and you can make a difference. You just really have to believe that you can. I hope you all have a really good new year, and just live life, I guess.